Adeshina, MFR, is the Group Managing Director of Sahara Power Group, an energy and infrastructure organization with operations in 42 countries. He served as a chairman of 𝐓𝐏𝐿 Power PLC and board chairman of 𝐘𝐏𝐁 𝐏𝐿. With a diverse background spanning academia, insurance, finance, energy, trade, and diplomacy, Mr. Kola has carved a niche for himself as a consummate entrepreneur and Pan-Africanist. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me and welcome Mr. Kola Adeshina.
Let me check.
Good morning, distinguished. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Okay, so there's the woman, Flora.
Can you hear me now?
No, the woman.
Good morning. Can you hear me now? Can I use the mic then? Get some punch. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and aspiring change makers. First, let me profusely thank my brother and his beautiful wife, Pastor Poju Oyemade, for the opportunity to speak at the Platform Africa 2025. Before I go into my presentation, my brother Zachary, that was a good presentation. I really enjoyed it, and I copiously took notes. However, your journey started here in Nigeria with Pastor Adeboye. There is a service tomorrow at the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Your presence is important, but your money is more important. So you have to pay your tithe. He predicted your future, and here you are doing exactly what he said. Congratulations to you. Whilst his presentation was on, and as I was writing notes, I flipped my mind back to the introduction of my brother Zachary. And it was addressed as someone who has the capacity to raise capital. Of course, when you speak to any average African, access to capital is a critical point that they always worry about. So today, you have the privilege of someone who has the capacity to raise capital. So in the question and answer session, please don't ask me about access to capital. Please direct your question to Zachary. The only thing I probably would do is just to predict your future and say you are going to be great as well. It is an honor to speak here today about a timely and critical topic for Nigeria and Africa's economic future, most especially around the concept of entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. My over 1 decade of work in risk management and finance, insurance, as well as over 2 decades of work in the energy sector. They've presented to me opportunities arising from the growing population and the needs of a struggling continent. The continental GDP per capita remains significantly below the global average, creating opportunities for wealth generation. Our airports are bustling. Exit queues are filled with fellow Africans leaving for greener pastures. However, the reverse is the fact that we have other nationalities and continents flooding into Africa. We need to ponder over why such a drift is happening. What are these guys seeing that we're not seeing? Africa has never lacked ideas. Creativity, innovation, and ambition are abundant across the rest of Africa. We have 1.5 billion human beings here. And by the way, Zachary, that was a very good map you showed in terms of what Africa represents to the world in terms of size, in terms of population. Embedded in that diagram was China, United States of America, Germany, the rest of Europe, all embedded within Africa. Before I go further, I ask a question. How can idea move a nation? How can an idea move a continent? What do they have out there that we don't have? Are there resources they have, knowledge or skill that they have out there in Asia, in the US, and wherever that we don't have? We need to ponder again and again as this conversation goes forward. Because eventually, all ideas will become real systems, real businesses, and equally create real impact. Before a deep dive into the subject, let me share a story that should help us set our minds in the right direction. The title of the story is The Road Through Dust Valley. A dusty old path stretched for miles across a dry, unforgiving landscape. Nobody enjoyed traveling it. It was hot, cracked, and littered with stones. However, it was also the only route to the city of gold, where opportunity and success awaited. One morning, 5 travelers embarked on this journey. The first traveler walked for 10 minutes, glanced at the heat waves rising from the ground, and turned back. Nothing good can come from this place, he said. If it were worth it, the road would definitely be better. The second one grumbled with each step. This dust on my shoes are not pleasant. The sun is rather too hot. The stones are sharp, and I cannot believe that no one has ever fixed this. He carried on with bitterness and left the journey. The third person kept stopping to post complaints about the road. This path is terrible, he wrote. No signal, he commented. No shade, he exclaimed. Avoid it at all costs. He spent more time expressing frustrations than making progress. The fourth person walked in silence. He didn't like the path, but he kept moving, counting his steps and pressing on. He had made up his mind. Discomfort wouldn't be the reason I would stop. But the most important thing for me is just to get to that city. That's all. Once I get there, I turn back my job is done. But the fifth traveler was different. She noticed something the others didn't. While the road was dry, wild herbs grew along the sides. Rare herbs, I repeat, rare herbs used for medicine, she saw. She picked them as she walked. She noticed a rock formation that could be used as stepping stones, and equally marked those stones. In the distance, she spotted a well half covered in sand, which she cleared to have a drink. By the time she reached the city of gold, she wasn't empty-handed. She had herbs to sell, a map of resources, and the beginning of a business plan that was born. Let's clap for the women, because of the five, it's only the woman that saw what the men couldn't see. What's the lesson here? Life gives us, all of us, a road to walk. Some see dust, others see diamonds. It is never about the path. It is about the eyes which can see what few people can see. I ask you this morning, what can you see in your environment? I'll come back to that story. Entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship, these two words, they're not just buzzwords. They are survival tools and the keys to unlocking the next level of wealth creation as well as national development. There is a link between the two. Entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship are not opposing paths. They are complementary. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs began their careers as intrapreneurs. I, Kola Adeshina, I started my journey as an intrapreneur in the insurance business before transitioning into the energy space. In both industries, I have become a captain in the two respective industries, all within a space of 37 years. In my company, we have several intrapreneurs, and they are gradually, on a daily basis, nurturing their skills, their talent, and their capacity to think to become entrepreneurs. You intrapreneurs in the room, when do you want to become an entrepreneur? You mark that stone. Several entrepreneurs bring entrepreneurial flair to institutions, making them become more agile, innovative, and customer-oriented. I recently read about the fact that in America, 70% of millionaires in this great country are employees or entrepreneurs. While their economy allows them to do this, growing exponentially, what are we doing about our own economy to create more entrepreneurs to become entrepreneurs? It is important to note that entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship require the same core skills. Critical thinking. Why? Because you just have to read and study every day. If you don't nurture your power of observation to note what is going on around you and read those things as opportunities rather than complaints, you will remain where you are. There has been no human being born of a woman that has grown phenomenally by staying in the realm of complaint and expecting that prosperity will come knocking. No. Everybody that has become successful sustainably, they did something in the environment others are complaining about. Everything in Africa, and I mean everything in Africa, represent opportunities. The question is, what eyes are you using to see them. My brother Zachary said something earlier, and it's very instructive, that in Nigeria we complain about everything, but on a very soft note. Our complaints, we use it actually to relax and enjoy ourselves. That's why we are the happiest people in the world. There is no event, no matter how bad they are, we laugh about them. We joke about them. So that's another industry that probably some of you will have to think about. The power of knowing what you don't know is very critical. How are you exploring things that you don't know? Oftentimes, majority of us will say, I am left-handed, and that's it. No, ambidexterity is something that will take you further than when you are one-handed. You need to be able to nurture new skills, new philosophies, new thinking, for you to be able to take advantage of what is going on around the world. I recall with vivid pleasure, probably today, displeasure. In the University of Lagos, I used to go to the computer center, and we had this big, humongous machine that we all used to look at, and they call it mainframe. And we all go there and look in awe. This is a computer, and it is called mainframe. Today, the phones are in your hands. They are better in every material respect than the mainframe that some of us saw in 1982, 83, 84, and 87. What are you saying? Are you curious enough? Are you asking the right question? Is your mind probing opportunities even in challenges? In war zones, people are dying. Guess what? Some people are making money. Whereas some of us are fixated on CNN, we want to read all those negative reports. Some people, they're laughing and saying, wow, what an opportunity. Donald Trump increased tariffs all over the world. Everybody started complaining. I can assure you, somebody, somewhere is laughing and enjoying today. And that nation is called China. I'm not going to talk about that more. Adaptability. We must recognize that African market is unique, and not every globally applicable solution will succeed here. Yes, we want to go digital. Yes, we want to find ways and means of ensuring that everybody can communicate digitally. Without the digital infrastructure, you can't do so much. But then, you can adapt what you have currently in order to be able to still digitalize Africa over time. Somebody somewhere is working today, as I stand here, to ensure that digitalization becomes an everyday affair for the rest of man. When you were talking about telephone, mobile landlines, I applied then because I grew from poverty to prosperity by His grace. So I felt it is nice for me to hear that phone ring in my house as well. So I applied for a landline. They collected my 50,000 naira. NITED did not refund it. I didn't see any landline. I'm hoping one day that line will land in my house. But if it does, it's now outdated. Technology has gone beyond what we had then. Creativity. To my friends in the house, to those of us who are Gen Zs, you know I'm one of you. Being creative is not just about having an Instagram or TikTok account with thousands or millions of followers and being labeled an influencer. What value does your platform add to society or the economy? What message or narrative are you projecting to your audience? What level of revenue is being generated, and is it sustainable? You can post content today, trend immediately, and have brands offer you contracts, but you need to repeat it again and again and again and again. That is what is called repeat purchase. The customer the consumer, is always exploring better solution, cheaper options on a daily basis. Are you the one ready to offer that quality? Let me tell you this, and this is something I've seen, which is very important for me to mention here. People like to trend. This generation, our generation, Gen Z, we want to trend. As a matter of fact, majority of us will go to check whatever we've posted almost every 10 minutes to check how many people are here. I'll be smiling out. But remember, what trended yesterday is not trending today. A new story is breaking out on a daily basis. So, that business that you've chosen to be an influencer, you must influence positively, sustainably in areas that are relevant to what? The customer, your people. There's a young guy that has this pity thing. I'm sure some of you will know him. Emmanuel. You know, I check Emmanuel's page regularly, not for just to laugh, but to learn some lessons as the guy brings together wisdom, and yet we're smiling, we're happy. Humor, and yet wisdom. What are you doing? You hear 𝐘𝐏𝐿 𝐏𝐿 do his stuff, having animals speak to themselves, and the way and manner those animals are behaving would reflect as if they are really talking. By the way, thank you, Zachary, regarding the point on the dog and the cat speaking. I'm going to have a conversation with my dog today. It has to make me a billionaire. Resilience. I'm confident that every African in this room and those watching online can attest to our resilience as individuals and as a nation. We are a people that bear pain. Honestly, the pain we can bear is unbelievable. The hardship we bear, oh my goodness, you can't find it anywhere else. Now, how do we now convert that resilience to an advantage? You need to consistently stay in a place where what you are generating interest along the line that will make you not only strong, but durable. Apple you celebrated. Trust me, there are companies working to upstage Apple, not just Samsung. There are individuals perpetually in the laboratory of ideas, thinking out a solution that somebody is not thinking about today. Are you that person? Lagos is dirty, isn't it? Can you make it clean? And in cleaning it, can you monetize it? Whilst critics are seeing slums, you are seeing opportunities in those slums that can be converted into wealth. What are you saying? What are you thinking about? Today, mobility is a problem because cost of fuel is high. How do we use CNG to move around because it's cheaper? How do you collaborate with people with resources to be able to assure mobility is effected? There's something that is typically missing here, and I've had the privilege of mentoring a lot of people, and some of them billionaires and the rest of them. I've seen that the number could have become bigger, but for the fact that most people lack execution. They can't talk about it. PowerPoint presentation, perfect. Eloquence. Now, roll your sleeves and get it done, the problem starts. Doers are the only ones that can make it in life. If your job is just to talk, no problem. There is no Hall of Fame for critics. None. But doers, my goodness. So are you going to join that exclusive club of doers? You've got to think about it. Don't stop doing it. I love Nike's philosophy. That slogan is so beautiful. When you get into new ideas, ideas will tempt you, will freeze you at times. Please, in spite of your anxiety, please just what? Do it. You don't have enough. You will never have enough. Condition will never be perfect. There is no matter the amount of information you have, it will never be sufficient. Just what? Do it. You're going to have critics. And by the way, Majority of us rely on other people to validate ideas that are beautiful, and they kill those ideas for us. Analysis paralysis. We want to be sure that it's perfect. My goodness, we are not perfect. And if we're perfect, it is finished. The day we attempt perfection is finished. And trust me 100% on this. Perfection will only be in eternity. It's not here. There is work to be done. No matter how beautiful a product or service is, something better is coming. So are you the one that is going to bring that something that is better? Practical tips as I begin to bring this to a close, hopefully. 1, start small, but think big. Start small, but think big. I know of a young guy who went into greenhouse tomato. Advice was given that, look, don't just start with 10 greenhouses. Just start with 2. No, you see, the turnover and all that, it's better to operate at scale, economies of scale. And that language consumed eventually several millions of naira. And as of this moment, the greenhouse is not as green as it should be. It is still black. Our company, 𝐓𝐿, our company started as what? Just a clothier, men's room. Just from men's room, selling clothes. And today, we've become a multinational, employing over 6,000 people with turnover that would astound you if I mention it, but it runs in billions and in dollars. From selling clothes. So start small. It's not evil to start small. It doesn't belittle you. You are experimenting. You can then now pivot and then scale when you've learned the ropes and you understand how the business is done. Think big, start small. Solve real problems. If your prosperity is not about problem solving, then you are doing yahoo yahoo. There is no two way. Everybody that fell into 𝐓𝐶𝐏𝐵𝐻, the sea of 𝐓𝐶𝐏𝐵𝐻, they got drowned because they didn't have any problem they were solving. It was only greed that was offered. And on that temple, several people lost money. I know some of you are here. Ekpeleo. You have to network intentionally. Collaboration is far, far more useful and valuable than capital. Every time I say this to people, one of the reasons we've grown in my company, 𝐓𝐿, is primarily because of the fact that we are many. And we're many is not about the new song that people are dancing to. There's this song that we're many. But we're many here because of the fact that we have talents well spread out in the minds of several people and individuals. I'm here speaking. Thankfully, graciously, my brother, my friend, he's using my sister elsewhere, my partner, to speak at another event. He's going to pay for that because we're going to bill him. But we have 3 others working as I stand here. So we're not losing anything. A lot of people want to own it all. You want to have everything. Trust me, you cannot have generational wealth if you are just the sole trader. That's why sole trade doesn't go too far. It's a corner shop mentality. And if you have such mentality, you can't thrive. You will survive. People on your street will see you with cars. Of course, those cars are liabilities. They will see you live in beautiful houses. Your house is a liability if it's not generating any revenue. So eventually when you die, the business is gone. Because it's all about you. And the world is never about one individual. I've said again at different fora, one of the critical ingredients that should be in products and services is the concept of love. If love drives your innovation, if love drives your creativity, if love drives the idea that you are nurturing, it's going to survive. That thing will survive. And that is why you see that some people don't go to church, but they are doing more of God's work than even those that go to church. Because going to church is not sufficient. It's just a small part of the whole story. The real story is love your neighbor. And how do you show love? Your neighbor doesn't have shoes. He needs shoes. Be the one to supply shoes to him. Monetize it. You have to embrace digital tools. You need to leverage technology for scale, for reach, as well as efficiency. Everything that my brother Zachary mentioned is just about efficiency. That's all. It's a journey into efficiency. It's just so simple that every day around us, everything speaking to us in our environment, they are yearning for only one thing: make me better. That's all. If you hear that voice consistently, please make me better. Your environment is begging you, please make me better. You need to embrace digital tools to be able to achieve this. For me, I say this, and this is very important. If you don't remember too many things that I've said, please remember this. Stay compliant. Stay compliant. And in staying compliant does not mean you conform. I'll come to that. You need to engage with regulators early. Stay above board. Identify the regulatory authority in your sector. Ensure you are registered. Pay your dues. Pay your taxes. And comply with all local and federal laws. This will give your business credibility and reduce or eliminate any regulatory risk. Look, my sister Flora is here from Kenya. Zachary is from Zimbabwe. We've just met. If I go to them now and say, guys, can we collaborate? What are they going to do? They will do due diligence on me. They're not just going to listen to what I'm saying. They are going to go back and fact check everything I've said. Should the headline come out that I've flouted any regulatory rule, that's a red flag, because why? That eliminates you in the realm of credibility. You must be a credible person. Credibility ruins many business enterprises because of the fact that people just simply want to make money. The essence of business is not to make money. It's to transform life and fulfill a purpose. In that purpose, you will now make money. If your primary agenda is just simply to make money, please, please, just leave quietly. The casinos are waiting for you. They will consume that money from your hand easily. For me, for entrepreneurs, I say be proactive. You must be emotionally intelligent. Don't wait for permission to improve all things. Staff, employees that are here, don't wait for your guys to say, improve. No, you be the one to suggest improvement within your establishment. People are noticing. They are listening. Document value. Wherever you have a performance report that is significant, that has added value to the business, document it. Because why? Somebody is going to read it tomorrow. The current boss doesn't like you because of your shoes. So please, the next one might like you. They will see the value you've built. Build alliances. A lot of us inside our organization, we fight ourselves unnecessary battles, needless battles. You are there for a purpose. Our God is a designer. And because of the fact that he's a designer, a perfect one for that matter, where we are, there's a reason why we're there. So if you don't understand why you are where you are, you will miss it. And you fight everybody in the organization. No, me, I go solo, solo more. I'm not beating anybody. The more of that you do, the less of yourself you become. Self-containment destroys. Because you won't know what is going on out there. You won't hear what is happening. And for those who know it, Jesus Christ himself was asking people, who do they say I am? Learn continuously. Never stop learning. You need to take ownership for your own growth. If your company is not sending you for courses, you send yourself. It's not a crime. And I have them all around me that we didn't send on training, they will send themselves. And they came back and said, yeah, Harvard, I just finished. When? How? You will take time to study that person. You'll be interested in such a person, such an individual. Don't just wait for manna to fall from heaven. It's not coming again. We've been told. Think like a founder, and this is very important. Listen to this. Hone your work as if your life depends on it. Because it often does. A guy called Steve Ballmer, I know some of you are Googling now, who has a net worth of $123 billion, was once an employee of Microsoft. He was an intrapreneur, but became an intrapreneur, and is currently richer than the founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates. He owns 4% of the shares of Microsoft today. The founder owns a share of 1.34% in the company he founded. An employee that joined 45 years ago has more shares than the owner of the business original. So don't just limit yourself, and quite a number of people, the tech people in the room, you are the one I'm speaking to. Tech people like to jump. They stay here for 2 months, no, I'm leaving. They go to another place, I'm leaving. They keep searching. Well, I don't want to tell you how Mongo Park ended. Speaking directly to you, my friends, to you, the entrepreneurs in the room. Entrepreneurs, show your hand, please. Entrepreneurs, let's see you. Wow, we are many. Okay, so go and listen to that song. We are many. Believe that your story matters. Build with integrity. Don't just aim to survive, aim to transform. Let your business be known for not only profit, but for purpose. Leverage technology, but never forget community. And when you rise, make others rise. 2, to policymakers and public office holders, design policies that empower, not restrict. Spend less time licensing, but more time listening. If 70% of your population is under 19 or 30, you must clear the way for a youth-led innovation, creativity, and enterprise. To investors and development partners in the room, you have to de-risk ideas early. You have to provide smart capital. You have to provide mentorship. You have to think long-term. Africa is waiting for you. Africa is not going to beg again very soon. Africa will be loaning to the rest of the world. To the diasporans, Africa is not just your route, it is your opportunity. Come home with capital, with skills and connections. And if you can't return physically, return digitally. Collaborate, advise, fund, and mentor. Let me conclude this now by sharing my final story. It is easy to underestimate the power of a story, especially when caught up in the everyday push and pull of building businesses, economies, and nations. But stories move people before statistics do. They spark imagination, challenge the status quo, and sometimes even create new worlds. This is the story of a young Nigerian named Nosa Asemota. He has a business he calls Lens for Good, a story that is in many parts today is still being written. Nosa didn't begin with a grand plan. There was no blueprint, no boardroom strategy, just a camera and a restless question. What if we could see ourselves differently? Growing up in Nigeria, stories surrounded him, woven into traditions and daily life. When he engaged seriously with photography, he quickly realized capturing an image wasn't just about technique, but about truly seeing people. His background in guidance and counseling deepened his insight, and this helped him to be able to teach others so that the struggle, the emotion and aspiration of the world can be shared. While many point to his early work in Ibadan, documenting government officials, the most defining moment of his journey occurred in his current role. In that set, Nusa wasn't just photographing power, it was shaping how it was seen and understood. That role showed him the immense responsibility of framing national perception. It also made clear that power should not reside in isolation, but it shared the light through the empowering young creatives and the stories in Nigeria and their own lenses. These realizations bettered Lens for Good, a movement designed to empower young storytellers across Nigeria and transform Nigeria's narrative through positive storytelling. Young photographers and filmmakers often have the passion but lack access, mentorship, or support. Nusa knew that because he had once been a young creative, he started his own masterclasses, workshop, and web hub, which he launched in October 2024. He got a small grant and started a business that is now growing phenomenally. He was taught by legends like T.Y. Bello, Ademola Adeniran, Tolani Ali. They taught him skills that fires in his heart the young creative of making truly a difference in our world. It isn't just about storytelling, it's about the agency. In a country where young people are often referred to as future leaders, Nusa insists that they are building change now. Through Lens for Good, street photographers now dream of building agencies. Communities rally around narratives of hope, not just hardship. And the vision ahead is solid, is bold, because by 2026, this young man wants to build creatives of 50,000 people. He wants to launch his creative hub in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt, and produce a flagship national film with 100 storytellers across the nation. Nusa is showing Nigerians and the world that young people are not waiting in the wings. They are already stepping forward, taking charge, and owning space in the creative economy. By building platforms for others, he's proving that creativity isn't just an expression, it's a force for development, leadership, opportunities, and national pride. Nusa once said, if we can light even one fire, 1,000 others might follow. That fire is spreading as we speak. And it began only with just one man, one camera, and one decision to see life differently. Just so you know, Nusa got his first camera here from Convened Nation. Notable entrepreneurs in Africa include Tosin Enioloroda Money Point, Paystack by Shola Akinlade and Ezra Olubi, Kuda by Babs Ogundeye and Musti Mustafa, heavily supported by Ade Dania, and Flutterwave Inyolua Aboyeji and Olugbenga Agbola. Friends, I leave you with a thought. When the music changes, so must the dance. The music of Africa is changing. It's beating with the rhythm of innovation, creativity, digital disruption, and grassroots energy. And the dance must change. In my company, 𝐓𝐿, we've chosen to dance to a new music that we are writing. And that music is a music of bringing energy to life responsibly. And there are young individuals driving this change. When people see us, they assume we, the leaders, are the ones. No, it's the young ones. It's the Olawale Akinyikas of this world. It's my CEO, Folake Shueton. It's Ola Dosu, Adetun Adekoya, Jadesola Adams, Emmanuel Magani, All these guys, in their different ways, are the ones helping to shape the narrative of not just a company, but the future of the environment where we find ourselves. Entrepreneurship is not just about wealth creation. It's about engine of sovereignty. It's about dignity. It's about collective healing. Let us not wait for outsiders to validate our ideas. Let's not look for aids or funds like beggars. Let's not just be looking for miracle without work and responsibility. The African story will not be written solely by politicians. It will be written by builders, makers, doers, and entrepreneurs like you, like you, like you, like me. Like Shakira sang, and this is a beautiful music that I want to end with. This is time for Africa. Thank you, and God bless you all.
It's time for Africa. A further round of applause.